You sit on the President's Jobs Council, and the head of that council, Jeff Immelt, told me, look, big business like GE, like DuPont, can power through this environment. They can deal with the red tape, but it's small businesses that can't and that lack the confidence. What is the Jobs Council doing to change that?
So there's, we had over 200 different ideas that we've been working through to understand. Some are very short-term, medium-term, and long-term. For instance, one of the areas that I've been very excited about the progress being made is around the passing of the America Invents Act. So this is patent reform. And, we've been talking about it and working on it for a decade, and it's finally here. And that not only is going to help DuPont, it's going to help small entrepreneurs who are probably impacted more greatly by the amount of time it takes to get a patent through. And by the certainty of once they get that patent, they can license it, they can play it out in their own business. So I think that's going to have just a tremendous effect.
Twofold question. First, how quickly can we expect to see an impact from that act on job creation?
So I think, for people like DuPont, where we get several thousand patents a year, it takes us over 3 years on average to get them. And the patent office has been working to work down that backlog greatly. It does take a couple of years to get it in a much better place. But, for instance, we have technology that we're bringing up, a new Kevlar line in Cooper River, South Carolina. We're going to open it on Friday. Or on Thursday. And that is really important new investment for us, new employees for us, and that all comes down to having assuredness around our intellectual property and having a system in the United States that protects it.
The second part of the question, when it comes to that patent reform, there have been some criticism that says this really just helps big businesses much more than it helps the small businesses, the entrepreneurs in their garage. What do you say to that criticism?
Well, we had...
And should we care? Is it just about creating jobs?
Well, innovation is the engine on the economy. And so innovation just doesn't take place in big companies. Certainly it does in, a company like DuPont that's a science company. But I was with a group of small companies down in Research Triangle Park in June. And they were absolutely unanimous in the fact that patent reform was going to help them as much as it would help me. And they told me story after story about even if they invent something and they aren't bringing it to market, they can license it and much shorter term get revenues for them. So they were actually more vocal about patent reform in the room. And it was, I think it's just a great indicator that says that by getting something like the American Invents Act through, that it will continue to build momentum around innovation and around science, which I think can drive the economy.
The American Jobs Act, is it the right proposal at this point in time, the right way to spend this country's money?
So it's all about making progress, and I think you have to be very practical about it. And there's elements that are very practical that are going to really help. And I think we have to just to continue to push it, because at the end of the day...
What's really going to help from that?
Well, I think that so it's a very broad number of things. Yep. But I think just stimulating, in terms of making, financing more available to small companies. I mean, there's a lot of things in there that can really help, the small business can help medium business, which is a good portion of it, really get up that path. And I think sometimes it's the little things that matter more than the big.